Do you sometimes feel like the tech stuff is holding you back from making strides forward in your business, or like you're not really tech savvy, or you try to dive in and all the platforms feel totally overwhelming for you? Well, I've heard this many times from some of our students and just coaches in general, that the tech stuff is what holds you back from doing the thing you want to do. And so this episode seeks to take that burden off of your shoulders and help you feel confident about the tech and how to move forward without sitting in analysis paralysis. Welcome to this week's episode of The Best Damn Coach. And we are talking about one of your favorite topics, guys. It is tech. Well, kind of tech. And I'm bringing this special guest on because we've actually had this discussion ongoing inside of the BDC community of like, how as new business owners can we streamline our businesses without feeling overwhelmed by all of the tech? And so I am invited the creator of Shine Pages. We're going to drop all the information we talk about in the show notes today to join us. So welcome to the show, Robin. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. I love talking all things tech. It's my nerdy side that just kind of geeks out on it. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. I'm equally nerdy too. So we get each other. But yeah, I mean, before we even dive into, we were both just talking to where we have these like daughters in these transitional stages, yours going to college, mine going to high school. And I just love and appreciate being to sit down with a fellow entrepreneur who's doing amazing things, and also like just connect on a woman to woman level about like, we're not just all business. We also are these moms behind the scenes pursuing our dreams and going through like this real heartache, honestly, in these like life transitions.
It is real. Those life transitions. Yes. Yeah. I've been an emotional roller coaster. My heart goes out to all the mamas who are sending their firstborns away to college. The struggle is real.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of everyone, and I'm glad that we can have a moment to connect amidst it all. So, we met, I think, through a mutual group I teach in at some point, and just had followed your work. And then it was like I was going to events and Shine Pages kept popping up. And while I have tools in my business that I now use, Shine Pages wasn't around when I started out. I'm like, man, I wish it was. But one of the things that I'm always looking for my audience, and of course my students, my clients, are ways to be able to accomplish the mission in the most friendly way possible. And so everybody was talking about Shine Pages. I reached out to Robin. I was like, hey, I need you to give me like a walkthrough. I need to know what's happening here, because I've been looking for a trustworthy place that I could send my coaches that wasn't overwhelming. Because there's a lot of great options out there, but most options aren't built for the starter, the beginning, the coach necessarily that's not necessarily interested in super elaborate stuff, but wants to be able to do some amazing things in a really powerful way. So we're going to talk more about Shine Pages, but I would love for you to first share with the audience, like, where did you come from that you end up building out this incredible software, right? Would you call it software? For coaches, consultants, even product-based businesses. So give us a little background.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's funny. I feel like so many of us as entrepreneurs can relate to the fact that the path is often windy. It is not very straight.
Yes.
I have been lucky enough to have been working with entrepreneurs since I quit my corporate job in 1999 to help a friend start and grow her business. So I still kind of do relate it all back to that point, because it was the first time I got to see somebody take this little spark of an idea they had in their head and like actually make it real, actually go out into the world. And for that particular business, it was handbags, be able to custom make your own handbag. You got to pick all the pieces and parts, and then we as the manufacturers would make it. And that was just such an incredible experience to see that, again, that idea out into the world. And so all along the path, I've done various things. I was in network marketing for a while. I really learned how to build a personal brand there. I just did online marketing, different attraction marketing things, did all of the software platforms that I could get my hand on. I was diving deep into so many of those to learn how to build out funnels and how to build automation. And then I was doing marketing coaching for small businesses. I have done website design on various different platforms. And it really came down to, I felt like I could keep designing websites for small business owners because that's where I kind of landed because it felt like that was a concrete thing that people knew they needed. And so in doing that, I was able to provide them something like, oh, okay, good. Now I have it. Yes, I'm like a real business. It feels something like you feel very like there's something that you feel proud about when you have a website that really shares what you do to the world, right? But I was able to talk with the developers of a software. So I'm not a coder or a developer myself. I know enough to be dangerous, but I'm not a full coder. But I was able to meet with a software team and I really liked what they were doing. I started kind of playing around with it probably for about a year. And then I ended up partnering with them to create what is now Shine Pages. So I created all of the templates that you see, all of the training materials that really walk people through how to take that template and make it your own. And then, of course, our support team. So, really, I think about Shine Pages as the tech, the training, and the templates to help you get started and really shine your light online with a website, with funnels, with landing pages, with email marketing, but make it easy and like kind of this cozy little space on the internet where you don't have to be scared of designer tech. It really can feel comfortable, especially for those people that say, "Oh, I'm not techie. I don't know what I'm doing." Like we want Shine Pages to be the soft place you land because we want to make it so that we understand you. It's female owned. All of the people that work for me are women. And so we kind of cater to that female coach, that female service provider, but really just to help you feel like you're not alone. We have really beautiful templates that you can design yourself, but we also have really great, helpful live humans to help you do all of this. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell.
It's so cool. It is a windy road. And
Yeah.
it's also, I think, from where I stand, it's just so needed. Because I think about various platforms where I began and where I am now. It's like I wouldn't have been able to survive on some of them if I didn't already have a team in place that knows how to use them. But most of our audience and the people that you serve are solopreneurs. They don't have a team that's tech savvy quite yet enough, or honestly, it's not even the not knowing how, it's the capacity and the
Yeah.
time, right? To like
Yeah.
really learn something from the ground up that is not in our wheelhouse at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I first built my first WordPress website, and I think it took me about 4 or 5 months to build it out. By the time I actually launched it, like the offers that I wanted to even put out there in the world had totally changed. And then I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
you're
well, I
like,
guess,
oh, it's expired.
yeah,
We're already expired.
yes.
So, what do you say to the person listening that just is like, I am not tech savvy. I don't know how to do tech. I don't know. I don't want to do tech. What's
Yeah.
your feedback
Well,
for
the
that
thing
person?
that I find so interesting in that is that again, when people say, "Oh, I'm not techie," I think it's that a lot of times they feel like there's so many parts to it, right? To building out a website. I go, oh my gosh, I have to have all my pictures. A lot of times, funny enough, that's really something that holds people back. It's not even so much the text. Sometimes they don't have good pictures, and you can take your own pictures and they still can be good, or you can hire a brand photographer. But again, I think just starting small, but starting smart, because a lot of times what people do when they think, oh, I'm not techie, they're like, oh, well, I'll just use one thing and I'll just get a landing page software that offers some free, ability to put up a landing page. I'll start with that because I'm not techie. But the problem is if you do that, then sometimes you end up with even more of a tech headache because then you have to find a different platform for your blog and a different platform for your email marketing and a different platform for this. So you want to be able to start small and take baby steps, but you also do want to have a little foresight and a little forward thinking to think, okay, what is something that I could potentially grow into that's going to allow me to only have one thing to learn, right? One tech to learn and to know. But really, I think so many of us as women, we've given ourselves, especially that label of I'm not techie, but you can do hard things. You have done hard things. If you are growing a business, you have figured out so much stuff. If you are a mom, you've had to figure out so much stuff. If you are, you know,
True.
a wife, whatever, like you can do this. You can figure it out. Sometimes it takes a little bit of slowing down, actually reading the, tutorials or actually sitting down and watching the training video. I'm one that usually likes to just dive in and do things without watching watching the training, but for most platforms out there, there's going to be great tutorials, great training. We have that on Shine Pages. And again, we just take your time, one step at a time, but my one word of advice, I guess, would be just to think ahead a little bit, to think what could grow with me, instead of you're going to fall into the trap of finding yourself cobbling lots of things together, which overall could cost you more time, more money, and be more confusing in the long run.
It's so true. I love that you brought this up because here's what I usually see is in the beginning when we don't have revenue coming in consistently, we're being really frugal in our expenses, which I think
Yeah.
is wise, but
Yeah.
also we don't pay it. We haven't learned that time for money trade. So I'll see a lot of people try to do like a free thing here, a free thing here, free thing here to save whatever the
Yeah.
$60 a month or whatever they're going to pay. And they end up wasting so much time in trying to figure out how these systems can all integrate when that time could be spent in revenue generating activities like client lead
Yeah.
gen, going out
Oh,
into networking. And so I think the reframe for me and the platform that you have is you have opportunity to grow. This could potentially be the only system that you ever need in your business, depending upon where it goes. And
mhm.
there's so many ways to start small and maybe just one landing page for one freebie
Yeah.
right now before you have the website. You don't need the website initially,
Right.
but I really encourage some sort of opt in, whether it's a free training, freebie, whatever thing. And then you could build the website, right? And then you can
Yeah.
make that funnel like exist. And there's so many ways to grow upon and build. And I think that's that stepping into that growth mindset, that CEO mindset, that
Yes.
$60 that you are trying not to spend is so worth every penny.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I actually just did a little story on this, because really you just need a domain name, which costs like, $12 a year. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
again, to start with, a landing page. But again, is if you have a software that you can build out just that one landing page, but then you can still, build out a site, build out funnels, build out an online course, sell digital products, do all the thing all in one place and be able to grow with you. I think that's going to serve you much better in the long run. Yeah.
I 100% agree. So what makes Shine Pages different? Like for the person listening that's looking for a platform, tell me more about what makes you guys different.
Yeah. Well, I don't like to, compete on price, but we are affordable. We start at
I
$29.
think
So
that's
it's, yeah.
definitely something you have going for you. So I think
Yeah.
that's quite fantastic.
Yeah. And I also think that one thing that I've heard is just that it's pretty. I feel like a lot of software out there, the ClickFunnels of the world, the larger softwares, not only are they quite expensive per month, but also a lot of times they're built very blocky, and you can tell they're built in a very masculine way with a lot of kind of bro marketing tactics. I think, the big red flashing buttons and and that's all part of the template, which again, you can change. But I think people like to have something a little softer, still very conversion focused, still sales focused in terms of the way our pages are laid out, the way the templates are designed. But it's just a little softer, it's a little prettier. Also, what people really like, and I've heard it's kind of the platform's almost Canva esque in that it's really simple to drag and move and like stretch things. It's not so rigid and locked into one particular format or layout of a page or a course page, etc. You do have flexibility, and the flexibility is right there on the screen. So like the user interface to move things around or just to grow or stretch a picture or an image,
Yeah.
you're it has more flexibility, but it's also there's some structure, but there's some flexibility. So it's a nice blend of the two. I feel like for our ideal audience, which is that, again, coach, service provider, creator that is in their first few years of business potentially, um, it's not going to be the huge high end software that might have more bells and whistles than you even need, and you're going to be paying hundreds, but it's a
Yeah.
step up from like a GoDaddy site or something very simple. So it's a nice in the middle ground, like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's not too small, not too big. It's like right in that medium place for, I think, our client anyway.
I love that. I just recently had a member of the BDC who joined, who, as a new coach with less than a handful of clients yet under her belt, was paying $300 a month for her platform.
Ooh.
And so she was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I realize that like I'm stuck. Do I pay for the platform or do I to pay to join the BDC? That was honestly
Oh.
her question that she was asking me is like, look, I can't tell you like that decision. Ultimately, you know what you're getting there. But what I can say is I've been in business for 8 years and I'm not spending $300 on a platform, nor do I think that at this phase of business that is even remotely something that you need, because my guess is you're paying for a crap ton of stuff you're not using. And
Yeah.
so it was great that she could like distill that down and realize like the better investment for her was actually in the coaching and the support to build the marketing and build the messaging around the offer, and to understand that like fancy CRM, like I'm
Yeah.
not like pro. So when we talk about a CRM exclusively, that I think a lot of systems do this for you. I don't think you need to be paying on top for like Close.io or something. That's just my personal opinion.
Hmm.
I've tried those. I'm like, it's too many things. We can use our project management tool to build out our own automations.
Yeah.
And, anyways, I digress, but I think that you nailed it, that, you are often paying for things that you don't need and you don't have the capacity to learn. So
Yeah. And I absolutely, like, I would 100% say pay for the coaching, pay for the education, the knowledge, the experience that somebody else can pour into your business 100 times over. So, again, whether it is being able to afford a coaching program so that you can move your business forward, or just being able to pay less for software so that you keep more of your own revenue in your own pocket, like that is what I'm all about. We are all about that. Again, I don't want to even want to say smaller. I don't think we have people on here that are 6, 7 figure business, owners that are
yeah,
creating massive businesses using the Shine Pages platform. And we have people that are building out their very first site too. So it's a wide
yeah,
range, but I am also, it's funny, as a, founder of a software platform, I often say, maybe you don't need all this software. Like, to people, I'm like, you might just need a landing page to start, and that's okay. But you have something that, a lot of people, I they start by maybe doing one-on-one coaching, right? They're working with people, and then they work on their framework, they work on their signature offer, they work on their program. And so then they're like, okay, now I want to move into something that's going to have more residual income, or a little bit more passive income, be able to speak to a wider group of people. Or I want to maybe have another income stream that's more passive, a digital download product, or again, just a mini course, or things like that. So being able to have that flexibility to say, oh, I've got a new idea, I want to pivot my business this way, and not have to look for a new platform and bolt on something else. Like, it's just, there's a freedom, I think, in that. And I think it helps you to be able to grow your business when you don't have to worry about the design or the tech, because you already, the platform. I mean, every platform has a learning curve, and I don't believe there is such thing as a perfect platform out there, but you have to find the right fit for you. And again, I like to think that we're good for that kind of starting out person, but can grow with them too.
yeah, so true. I love what you said, because when I've played in Shine Pages with you, I do agree. I think Canva-esque is a great like comparison. And but the other thing too is I think sometimes people starting out don't know what they don't know, and
Yeah.
so they get in and something like WordPress, like that's where I started too. I built my first website myself in WordPress, hours and hours and days and months slaving over the kitchen counter for like not one person to visit it
Yeah.
when I hit publish. Um, but what I love, what happens in the WordPress is site type build outs, and this isn't, I'm not anti WordPress, we use it, that's where we've always been, is there are like just functionalities that you would think were so intuitive that you can't do. You can't just like add more text. You got to go
Mm,
grab a text, a box, and drop the text into it, right? And so what I love is
yeah.
that I feel like the aesthetic adjustments are very intuitive, and I think that there's a lot to be said with lack of frustration. Is in the beginning you don't necessarily have or want to spend the extra cash, and every time you need adjustments to pay a tech person. And that's really where I look at the self-sufficiency is once you get in there, and you even, like you said, you can get some pre-done like funnel, like a funnel kind of
Yeah.
built out and nested, already done. You guys do that. So it's like,
Mhm.
oh, Robin and team have already showed me how to build this funnel. Now all I know is I have to drag and drop the pieces in here. I mean, also just to call some things out that people don't realize is they're like, don't even think about how am I going to collect payment, and accepting
Mm.
payment is kind of something important, right? And
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
be real, Venmo and PayPal are really not great options. They don't look professional. They're great if you're just like, I got to figure this out. I'm all for it. But eventually we want to come into a way where we can track invoices, track purchases, track lifetime value of clients and all those things. Shine Pages has that.
Mhm.
You can build out funnels. You can build out like mini courses. You can create digital download funnels, like all those things that I think that eventually in the beginning few years that a coach wants, there's
Yeah.
accessibility in what you do. So I just want to reiterate, I didn't invite Robin necessarily on this show today to just plug Shine Pages like it's the only way. But what I brought her to do is to tell you, like, there's something created for you. And I've personally not seen something that is so user friendly and us like and compatibility wise. I was like, Robin, this is what I wish would have existed for me years ago.
Mm.
And so I felt like I gotta share it with the people.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I just it's hard to see people struggling with that. And so I hope that we can just be, a solution. And it's interesting. I sometimes see people and I'll like click on their link in bio in their social media, for example. And again, social media is amazing. Social media is how you're going to get the word out about, your business in so many ways and network and all the things. But then if you don't, if you have like lots of different places that you're sending people, and one is a Stripe link, and one is a Google form, and one is something else, like it becomes, I'm like, oh, I want to help them and make it so that even if they don't even use Shine Pages, but they just know this, like start with just buying yourself a domain and at least have one place that people know where to go. And start by having one simple landing page, again, wherever you build it, but that you can collect those emails so that you're not solely relying on your social media audience and your social media traffic, but that you now own the email and you can send them an email, right? So just a really basic starter, get a domain name, get a landing page, have an opt-in form where you can collect leads and then be able to follow up with them again via an email marketing platform, whether that is MailChimp or MailerLite or GetResponse or whatever, which one you use. There's one built into Shine Pages too. But again, whichever one you use, those are kind of those basic starting points to get you started. And again, having just that one point of contact for people that they know, oh, I can find them there. Makes you look more professional, makes you just look polished. And again, your people know where to go.
Yeah, that was literally going to be my next question. So, okay, Robin, what would you say like is the one action step? And I love that you so diligently said that. I think there's so much pressure
Yeah.
because newer emerging coaches are looking at maybe coaches that have been doing it for a while that have like branded images.
Yeah.
Everything's like aesthetically pleasing. They have this like built out website. And I cringe when people are like, well, I've been talking to somebody. It's $3,000 to $10,000. I think easily you're going to pay for a done
Yep.
website. When you don't know your messaging, you don't really know
Right.
your niche, you're not sure of your product suite. And
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes those web designers aren't great copywriters. So the copy doesn't even
Right.
really match up with. So I always say, pump the brakes. Like, let's get really good at what we're talking about, who we're talking to, how to
Mm-hmm.
talk to them, make sure everything we're doing is attracting the right person. And then we can like literally craft that stuff
Yeah.
together. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that you said that. So tell us where we can connect with you, learn more about Shine Pages, all the details.
Yeah. So we're on Instagram. Not a huge following, but go ahead and follow us at Shine Pages on Instagram. We have a Facebook page. We have a Pinterest. All of them are just at Shine Pages or just shinepages.com. I know that we're going to put together a special template that has a lot of things in it for any of your listeners, and the link will be in the show notes, I'm sure. But yeah, just we're here at Shine Pages. A whole goal is
Amazing.
to really help people shine online. And again, it's not just about the templates and making it easy and making it just simple. We also have really great support. And like, that's kind of what people shout out a lot is,
Yes. My people that have come from you have definitely said, okay, the support is amazing. It's nice to talk to human beings that can help me. like solve a quick thing. So,
Yeah.
and as she said, we're going to roll out to you a special bundle so you can get started with Shine Pages. Check them out. That will be dropped in the show notes for you guys. And again, shinepages.com to connect more, to learn more about pricing, learn more about features, all that good stuff. But also what I want to shout out to Robin is I know she just like is there to serve. So if you have questions, it's very easy to get those answered to make sure it is exactly what you're looking for. So
Yeah.
Thank you so much for spending the time today and just giving a soft landing for somebody who's struggling, ready to take a next step. I know that you're going to have lots of people running towards you. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amanda. I really appreciate it.